Joining us now from the Travelers Championship, our CBS Sports golf reporter, Doug Bell. Doug, what's the atmosphere at TPC River Highlands on Friday?
Well, it's kind of weird because if the crowds were here like normal, they would still be here going crazy after what they would have seen with Phil Mickelson, 50 years old now, playing like 20-year-old Phil Mickelson. So it was quiet as Phil went around. He was getting some phantom high fives and fist bumps from Rory McIlroy and Bryson DeChambeau, and his brother Tim Mickelson, who's on the bag for him, was certainly celebrating one of the better rounds Phil Mickelson has played in a long time. You know, he turned pro back in his early 20s, and he's never started a tournament with back-to-back rounds of 64 or better. Think about that. 64 yesterday. He bettered it today with a 63. 2.85 strokes gained putting. Almost 3 shots he gained on the field with 26 putts today. But the key for Phil Mickelson, and we know about Phil, we love Phil because he's all over the place. He's a swashbuckler. He makes it exciting. But he's now playing boring golf. He missed only 2 greens on Thursday, missed only 4 greens today, missed only 4 fairways. So I tell you what, Phil Mickelson in great shape heading to the weekend. I hope he can keep it up. I hope he takes an energy drink tonight because he may need it tomorrow.
It's been exciting to watch so far, but Denny Mccarthy is the latest golfer to drop out this weekend, third to test positive for COVID-19. Doug, what's the feeling after another positive COVID test?
Well, the players, again, were not surprised. The news that Denny McCarthy, who played yesterday, withdrew this morning, caught him a little off guard. But the thing that is working for the PGA Tour, a lot of these players, including Denny, they wear these Whoop bands. They're on their wrists, and they register on their computer about their heart rate and about their blood pressure and what's going on physiology-wise in their bodies. And he woke up today and just didn't feel good. And he was looking at the readout, and he said, I need to go get checked out. And he goes to the physician here for the PGA Tour. They run him through some tests, and obviously he came back positive. So the protocols that are in place for the PGA Tour are working, and the players know that, and they know they have to deal with this virus week in and week out because the season is not going to stop now. And so I think the players on one side, every time another report comes out that a player's tested positive, it's all right, we expected something like this, we're dealing with it. And I will say the players, more players today were wearing masks as they came out to do post-round interviews, and even players wearing masks on the driving range and on the practice putting greens. So I think we're seeing a more diligent effort among the players and staff around the PGA Tour as we move forward. And I think that's what Jay Monahan, the commissioner, had to say when he came to town earlier this week. The PGA Tour is taking it very seriously. They know these things are going to happen, and we're moving forward.
Glad the protocols are working since that's what they're there for. But let's get back to the tournament itself, right? Phil Mickelson, the leader after 2 rounds. Our expert Rick Gaiman pointed out that lefty is currently gaining strokes in all 4 strokes gained categories. The last time he did that for an entire weekend, 2019 AT&T Pebble Beach, he won that one. Doug, does Mickelson need to what does he need to keep doing to get similar results?
Well, you know, it's interesting. He said he came into this week. Obviously, he celebrated his 50th birthday last week and took the week off. Came in this week early here at one of his favorite golf courses, by the way. Doesn't get to play it a lot because the Travelers is always the week after the U.S. Open, but he has won it twice, 2001, 2002. So he came into a place that he really likes, met his swing coach early this week. He would not divulge what changes they made, but he said, we did tweak some things in my swing. And I think what we've seen up to this point and what he needs to keep doing is hitting fairways and hitting greens, giving himself easy birdie looks. Because when Phil starts having to get up and down from crazy places or hitting out of the trees or trying impossible shots, that's when he gets those big numbers and we see the big scores. But so far, I mean, he has been just the model of consistency. And when I asked him about that after the round today, he kind of laughed. He goes, I know that's not me. That's not my characteristic. But so far it's working. That's what he needs to keep doing. I guess it's kind of boring for Phil, but boring is good. And that's what needs to continue for him in round 3.
You said Phil's going to need an energy drink. Do you see him keeping up the energy and the momentum, getting a win this weekend?
Well, you know, he's in great shape. He really is. He's lost weight, looks good. I do think that being 50 years old, I think fatigue does come into play more than a player who's in their 20s or early 30s. I don't think there's any question that'll be a factor, because not only is it physically fatiguing, but it's mentally draining. I mean, that's why there aren't a lot of golfers who win on the PGA Tour when they're in their 50s. I mean, 4 guys have done it. Phil would like to add his name to that list, but you're going to get some of the best in the world that are hitting their peak late 20s, early 30s. So we'll see what happens. This would be one heck of a story. That's the storyline right now. Phil Mickelson shoots 63 to take the lead after 36 holes, but it's only 36 holes. There's 2 more rounds to go, and that's the key. We'll see if he can keep it going.
What a way to ring in 50. But speaking of Colin Morikawa, he's 23. He missed the cut Friday, making this his first weekend off since he turned pro. This ends a streak of 22 consecutive cuts made to begin his career. Doug, what didn't work so well for him?
Well, I think he finally realized, and it had come easy for Colin Morikawa up to this point, started his career with this incredible 23 cuts in a row made, and he was talking about challenging Tiger Woods' streak, which is phenomenal. But I think what he realized is professional golf especially, it's peaks and it's valleys, and you have to ride that roller coaster. And up to this point, he's like on Space Mountain at Disney World. It was just inching upwards, inching upwards, inching upwards. But then when you hit that peak, look out. The bottom falls out and you get that sick feeling in your stomach. And for the first time as a young PGA professional, he experienced a low. And the one thing that'll serve him well is the fact that he did finally miss a cut. He knows what that feels like. He knows now that he needs to go back to work, maybe get a little rest, and he'll bounce back. Believe me, the best of the best all miss cuts, and for Colin Morikawa, it had to come sooner or later. It just happened to come here at a place that he thought he was going to score very well, but that's professional golf. It happens.
It is certainly a humbling sport. Doug, what are you watching for in round 3 on Saturday?
Well, obviously Phil Mickelson is the story, and he's playing with young Will Gordon, 23 years old, and Mackenzie Hughes, who followed up that 60 yesterday with a solid 2-under round on Friday. So they'll be the last group, and we'll see what happens. But I like Rory McIlroy at 9 under par, Bryson DeChambeau at 8 under par. I followed those guys for 2 days, and they are burning edges. I mean, Rory McIlroy is so close to shooting super low. It has to happen. And remember, he's taking a couple of weeks off now after this event. This is his 3rd week in a row, and I think sooner or later that putter's got to heat up. And the same thing for DeChambeau. I mean, he is so impressive with these outlandish drives of close to 350 yards. He's cutting corners and hitting it just razor straight. And I think sooner or later his putter's going to wake up. So I like the guys in the chase pack. The 9 unders led by Rory McIlroy, the 8 unders led by Bryson DeChambeau. That's what I'm watching. And also, I think with some potential rain coming in, I think we could see a 59 this weekend at the Travelers Championship. Just a little bit of moisture makes these greens really, really soft. Wouldn't shock me at all to see a 59 this weekend here in Cromwell, Connecticut.
Yeah, PGA Tour announcing round 3 will be moved up early Saturday morning with threesomes off split tees. Doug Bell with the latest from the Travelers Championship. Thank you.
One sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game, the highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.